Good morning, friends. I hope you all are doing well. So, today I have brought another very important video on the top 15 qualities of a great SAP consultant. I mean, what all the 15 top qualities or skills a great SAP consultant is expected to have. Though there is no specific given list as such, and the list of skills and qualities can be too many for a given role and profile depending on lot of other parameters, but in general I am covering 15 qualities slash skills a SAP consultant is expected to have, which is very important from the performance perspective, and also this is what will make you an asset to the company, and for a company also it will be really very hard to replace you. So I have divided this entire presentation into part 1 and part 2 because putting everything into a single video would have been made this video very lengthy. I do not want to do that, so that's why I have made it into part 1 and part 2. So this video is about part 1. So as you can see, what all things are expected to have, so many things are there like management, help, strategy, assistance, services, professional support, advice, solutions, training, project, process, and so on. The list is really very long. So how to become a successful SAP consultant is what we are going to discuss into this, along with the qualities what we have and what is expected from them, how many different kind of scenarios a person can handle, and likewise there are so many other topics which covers in this. So let's move on further. So this is the contents section of this video, and this is what we are going to discuss in this entire video. So we will discuss what makes a great SAP consultant, time management, effective communication in terms of both oral and written, business domain knowledge, project management skills, meticulous documentation, professional networking, team player, and interpersonal relationships. And finally, we end this video with the conclusion on all the above, and that will bring an end to this video. Before I move further, I request you all to please like this YouTube channel, subscribe it, like this video, put up your comments if you have any kind of query, questions, doubts, confusion, anything in your mind and you want to clarify. At the end of this video, one email ID is being given. Please drop an email to that email ID. You will definitely get a reply on that. If you want directly to put up comment on the video, you are most welcome to do that. So friends, let's move further without any further delay. So basically what makes a great SAP consultant? Let's understand it first. A perfect blend of technical skills. Technical skills means you should be extremely good into the area of expertise where you are working. If you are an ABAP consultant, you should be good in your ABAP. If you are working on ABAP on HANA, you should be good at it, depending on obviously the various levels, but certain level of understanding and expertise would be needed from you related to your skill sets on which you are working upon. various kind of soft skills. Soft skills we have so many, so we will discuss one by one on that. Knowledge and exposure of the various business processes. Remember, it is not necessary that always a functional person is only expected to know the business process. Sometimes even technical persons are also expected to know the business processes. Nowadays, it is very very important. So you must have all these things in you with you. Other than that, you should also have proper hands-on in the SAP system. You should not talk only about the theoretical part when you are discussing some topic with somebody. And there are a lot of other personality traits, or rather I will say personal qualities, an SAP consultant is expected to have, and all these things put together will make a great SAP consultant. I hope this point is clear. Let's move further. Now we will see one by one all the qualities and discuss. But before I proceed further, I would like to say one thing. Couple of things you might see in the upcoming slides might get repeated, but then this is all part of it, because everything, if we start bifurcating from one quality to the another quality, it is sometimes difficult to do that, and that is why couple of things are merged together as a skill set along with the qualities. So let's move further. The very most important quality is time management. Are you able to manage your time well? That's what it means by that. Are you productive? Are you able to deliver the results without delaying and within the deadlines? So some of the specific rules, or specific, I will say, the methods by which you can do the time management well is Pareto analysis, which says 80-20 rule, 80 by 20 rule. That simply says 20% of tasks which can carry on, or which can provide you 80% of your results. Here remember one thing, not every task is equally important. Some tasks will bear the value, some tasks will not bear the same level of value. So you must focus on 20% of those tasks which carries 80% of the value, and that is what this Pareto analysis talks about. You can follow this rule in your day-to-day life and make your life a better. Then we also have Pomodoro technique. What Pomodoro technique says is, whenever you are doing a particular activity, you should set a timer of 25 minutes, for example, to focus only on that task. Do not focus on anything else for those 25 minutes. This will ensure that you are delivering a quality work. Whatever you are working upon, you will have a complete and dedicated focus without any distractions. If you are getting distracted, that means your time is getting wasted. So if you follow this technique, one thing at a time, one activity at a time, that too with complete focused dedication towards the same activity, of course the results will be better than your expectation. Try implementing it in your life, you will make it better. Then there is another matrix, is our matrix. So this particular matrix, what it says is, if you have lot of tasks, or rather I will say the to-do list kind of activities you have, right? So what you need to do is create four different columns, or four different boxes, and each box give the heading urgent and important, urgent but important but not urgent, urgent but not important, and neither urgent nor important. and divide all your tasks into these four categories. And then, based on the requirement, you can pick up the box work which is urgent also and important also, to focus more of your time into those activities and less of the time which is neither urgent or not important activities. This will ensure that you are doing the activities which brings you the maximum results, the maximum benefits, maximum advantages. Another point is time blocking. When you are doing going to do some activity and you have a plan for it, block the time. Have a calendar, fix the time. It is like scheduling an appointment for a given activity. Do that. This will ensure that during that time you will not do anything else. You will do and completely focus into that work alone. And that's why time blocking is important. So that you are aware what you are going to do. And for that you just all you need to do is to plan in advance. You should always have a clear goals. What you want to do, what you want to achieve. And what will happen if you do this? If you keep all these things in your mind, you will be able to clear confusion from your mind and you will have clear goals. Always use a to-do list. Whatever task you can give it to somebody else. Suppose you have too many tasks in your hand, then delegate it. Don't keep everything in your hand. Many people do this mistake. This kills your time and productivity also. Whatever can be given or done by your juniors, your colleagues, just delegate it. Just keep a track of it, but don't do it everything by on your own. It is the best, which is the worst time killer activity if you are trying to do everything all alone with a single hand. Also, when you are working, do not work on a very long hours on a very continuous basis without any break. Always take a break after half an hour, 1 hour, whenever possible. Take a break. This break actually breaks your focus and gives you some refreshment so that next time again you can focus on some new activity with completely fresh mind. These breaks are necessary to make yourself more effective, because anything running continuously, the performance is bound to go down. You cannot run a vehicle 1,000 kilometers at one stretch. You will have to give the vehicle rest in between. So this is also something similar to that. Then when you are working on some activity, ensure that you have the least amount of distractions. And nowadays in the digital world, we know that how many distractions we have WhatsApp, we have Telegram, we have messages, we have emails, we have calls, and the list literally goes on. The list is really very long. So if we limit our distractions, then our productivity and the utilization of time in a right manner will automatically increase, and that will ensure that we are good in the time management. Let's move further. So that's why I said this is very important quality anybody can have. It is not just meant for SAP consultant, it is meant for everybody. But then for SAP consultant it is even more useful, because consultants usually work with all their activities within the given deadlines. So if they need to follow the deadlines, they need to ensure that their time is utilized in the most effective and productive manner. And for that, you need to have this skill set. Let's move further. Effective communication, both oral and written. Why it is important? You will understand it when you will see if you are not able to talk properly or if you are not able to write an email properly, what all things can happen and what all things will go wrong for you. But before we dive detailing of it, let's first see what all things we have. Remember, this is not something you can learn overnight. You will have to consistently and continuously keep practicing on it, and over a period of time, you will find it in a good shape. It is not something you can learn overnight, and by reading books, it cannot be mastered. It can be mastered only by practicing. So, whenever you are doing either oral or written communication, ensure that you are very clear and concise. Means you talk always to the point. Do not deviate topics left and right here and there. Another important thing is whenever you are going to talk, if it is an official meeting or any kind of presentation or something related to that, prepare well in advance. Very important. If you are unprepared, obviously you will not be able to justify the communication whether it is oral or written. You will not be able to do that. You will be not able to justify the work. Always when you are talking to somebody, please watch out for your tone. Remember, your tone and pitch is very important. Same words, same thing can be said into too many different pitches, and every pitch will give a different meaning altogether. So when you are in a business presentation and when you are talking to somebody, please watch out for your tone and ensure that it remains within the professional limits. You cannot yell on somebody else. You cannot vent out your frustration on somebody else, no matter what the situation be. We have to maintain our professional decorum whenever we are talking or writing an email to anybody. Ensure that it is being followed, otherwise, it is going to come back to you only. And again, you will have to face the unnecessary consequences which nobody wants to face, so, or nobody wants to deal with. Then, practice active listening. What is called as active listening? Active listening simply means you are paying attention and dedicated attention to the things which is being told to you, or when somebody is saying something, you are giving full attention to the thing what they are talking on, and you are not interrupting it in between as well. Let the first party finish the talk and you listen and understand it completely, and then you can give your reply or response whatever you have to give. And remember, watch out for your tone, very important. Then build emotional intelligence. This emotional intelligence is like you need to have control over your emotions. Do not get irritated. Do not talk harshly. Do not lose your cool, because in the real time work scenarios there will be so many situations which will come up which will require your emotional intelligence too much. Otherwise, sometimes people will try to take advantage of you because of your poor emotional intelligence. So if you want to deal with it in a right manner, you need to build it. Always develop a communication strategy. If some event is going to happen, what you are going to talk, how you are going to talk, what all things will be the content, and whom you are going to deal with. It is a junior, it is at par, it is stakeholders, it is project management side, client. Depending on whom you are going to discuss with, You can develop a communication strategy which will help you to handle the situation in a better manner. Also, since you are working for an organization, you need to ensure that you are creating a proper and a culture which is accepted to all with regard to the communication. This is very very important. Most of the companies stresses on these points, but company is not going to follow all these things. It is the people who are working for the company who needs to follow all these things, and that can happen only when you set up an example. Once you set up an example, people will follow that example, and that is why creating a positive organizational culture is important in terms of having a good communication in both oral and written, and not just verbal communication. When you are talking to somebody else, also pay attention to the non-verbal communication. I mean body gestures, eye contacts, and lot of other stuffs. Non-verbal communication is much more important, particularly when you are talking to somebody face to face, or even if you are talking to somebody over the virtual mode. It can be anything. So you need to ensure that all these things are kept in mind when you are dealing with oral and written communication. I will say, in terms of written communication, always write to the point, stick towards it, try to keep it short as much as possible. Lengthy mails, people usually don't read it fully. I'm not saying that every mail has to be short, but then keep it short as much as possible. That is important. It is something like conveying a long message in few lines. That's what it means by that. And if you follow all the points which we have just discussed in this slide, you will definitely become a very good communicator for both oral and written communication. Let's proceed further. Business domain knowledge. Again, very very important area in which a consultant is expected to have good knowledge on that. So you should understand what is the industry in which your client is working upon, what is their specific requirements, what is their business process which they follow, and how it is happening in the marketplace as well. Here I am not talking about SAP marketplace as such, I am talking about in general, the global market I am talking about. You should be aware of the products, services, customers, stakeholders, regulations, and industry trends. Remember, each country does the same business but does it in a some different way. No two countries are always one and same. So, business domain knowledge also you need to have, and country specific rule regulation knowledge also you are supposed to have. Basically, this knowledge helps professionals manage their work effectively and make a proper decisions, informed decisions. If it helps you to avoid a lot of mistakes as well. And if you have this business domain knowledge, it enhances your expertise and the credibility in the job market. You will understand that this person not just understand the SAP and the system, but understand the industry also, process also. What process being followed in which industry, this person knows, and how it works, that also the person knows. And in order to gain this business domain knowledge, what you need to do is you need to do a lot of research. I mean, trial and error kind of thing, searching, finding out. You can do the networking also with the people who are well aware of those particular industries in which you want to gain your knowledge, and you can ask questions and queries and get your doubts clarified with someone who is willing to give you some inputs and knowledge of the given industry. So always keep in touch with such kind of people who can help you with these things. But gaining this business domain knowledge is primarily your responsibility. So it is not just doing what is configuration, what is this, what is that. That is fine. That is absolutely fine. But that is not something which is everything. Business domain knowledge actually helps you to prove your value better than anybody else. So that is why it is important. Let's move further. Project management skills. Though this is part of, I will say, the PMO, that is project management office kind of thing, and it has a lot of things getting repeated also, as I said in the beginning of the video also. But then to cover up the entire project management skills, all these things are part of it. So let us see what all things are part of this project management skills. Risk management. Whenever you do some activity, it always carries some or the other kind of risk. What if something goes wrong? This is what is called as risk. How you are going to mitigate it, how you are going to handle it, how you are going to resolve it. What all methods you have in place which will ensure that the risk is being mitigated properly. So all these things will come under part of your risk management. Cost management. Remember, every project will have a budget, and the expenses on the project should not go beyond that budget. So as a project management, if you are a project manager or if you are handling a small unit of the project, you need to ensure that your cost doesn't go beyond the certain limit given based on the budget. Leadership skills. Another, again, a big skill. You should have a capability to lead the people. People should come to you, approach you for any kind of help, and you should guide your team. Suppose you are a team lead kind of position. In that case, you need to have the qualities so that the other team members will accept you as a leader. You need to lead your team and ensure that whatever is work given to your team, you are able to deliver it properly. Communication. On this we have already discussed, so we will not discuss on this. Time management, already discussed. Problem solving. You should be good in problem solving. Any kind of problem it may be. It can be from the implementation work, it can be from the uh, support work, it can be any business process related things, or maybe some new functionality needs to be developed. And this is just few example I gave, but there can be so many different varieties in it. So unless you are good in problem solving, it is not going to help you. As a consultant, you are expected to be extremely good into this area particularly. Resource allocation. Here resource allocation is primarily PMO job itself. For which project how many people are needed, how much time who will spend on which activity, who is going to task which task, and what is the cutoff time. All these things will be part of your resource allocation. Basically allocating people to the given work or project. Negotiation, very important again. This negotiation comes on a lot of things. Whenever budget is there, people always negotiate on the cost. They want always best candidate at the least price, and sometimes some of the things can be managed, sometimes some of the things cannot be managed. So that's why people negotiate. So this is also very very important, because for everything you cannot compromise or sacrifice. So some of the things you have to just adjust, manage and balance and ensure that whatever is the profitability part of the project, that needs to be maintained. Very very important again. Team building. This we will see into some upcoming slides. Technical proficiency. A project management team also need to have understanding of how the particular project or work is working on from the technical side, not just the business or functional side. Because if they don't understand the technical thing, anybody can come and make a statement and try to fool them or try to confuse them. But if they know what is what, then it will be difficult for anybody to confuse or misuse the opportunity given to them. So this technical proficiency helps you that, so that any person working on the same kind of activity will not be in a position to give you any kind of wrong direction, because you know what is what and how it works. This is very very important. In my practical experience so far, I have seen many project manager people kind of things. They are not aware at all what SAP is all about and how it works. In such cases, they are also not in a position to defend the same points in front of the client whenever meeting or discussion happens. My request and suggestion to all the people working as a project manager is, whatever technology you are working on as a project manager, at least learn some of the basics of it and have a proper understanding. I can guarantee you your team will love it. When you talk on their behalf to the client in the technical terms, your entire team will respect you more. Try implementing it in your project and see the difference. You will yourself feel it. What is the difference? I agree it might need some extra effort from your end, but then it is worthwhile investing the time into it. Let's move further. Meticulous documentation. This part is something I will say it's very very important. So why documentation is important? Because it maintains clear, accurate and organized records. Here documentation has literally a very very wider meaning. It does not have a narrow meaning. It need not to be always related to the project work. It can be so many other things as well. But this documentation helps you to ensure that you are noting down all the important points. Nothing is getting missed out. Scope is cleared and everybody is on the same page. Tomorrow somebody will not come back to you saying that okay, this also was not included if you have given the documentation for it, or you have created the documentation for it. Very very important. And in SAP we have lots of documentation. Particularly I am talking, we have business blueprint, we have fit gap analysis, we have as is to be document, we have a project timelines document, user manual, FSD, CSD, TSD, and the list is really very very long. SOW, BRD, so many are there. So basically, your documentation should have clarity and conciseness. That means the document should also talk to the point. It should have consistency. For the same kind of documents, you should have the same kind of template. Try to create a template for any kind of documentation which you are going to work in the SAP project. It helps. And what are the types of documentation you can have? You can have project related documentations which captures all the key information and it ensures that everybody is on the same page. How to documentation is like user manual or maybe some incidents which is coming up on a regular basis, then you can create something called as KBA documentation that will help your team member to resolve such kind of repetitive issues very quickly. Then technical and software documentation, I mean FSD and TSD, I will say in that case. Suppose new requirement has come, then you will have to create your technical and software documentation as well. So all these things are part of our day-to-day work in terms of SAP projects, and that is why it is very very important for an SAP consultant to have all these things. Always focus on these things. It has the potential to save your job and life at any given point of time. I have seen many scenarios because of not having proper documentation, things have gone wrong, so wrong that I cannot explain you here. Let's move further. Professional networking. This is also one such area in which I feel that most of the people don't pay attention much because everything cannot be written in a book or a material or in a video. It is not possible at all. If you think that just by watching a video you have become a consultant, please do not make a fool of yourself. It is not possible. And in your day-to-day work also, many a times you will get a scenario where you need somebody else help. And who will help? Every time your team members, your project manager, people will not be available sometimes. Rather, I say most of the times because they are busy in their work. In all such cases, your professional network can back you up and give you the required support in order to resolve the task in hand or maybe the question, query, error, whatever it may be. So, professional networking is the process of establishing, building, and nurturing relationship with the people in your industry or related fields. It helps you in advancing your career, share job opportunities, stay updated, and industry trends. And effective networking can open doors and create valuable opportunities for growth and collaboration. Suppose you want to switch your job and you have a very good network, you might get many referral active. Many people can refer you in the suitable job where your requirement is there. So all these things do not happen always through your job portals and things like that. These things will happen, and remember, this networking is not only about taking the advice from others. It is also about giving advice to others based on your experience. It is always a two-way traffic. It is not a one-way traffic as such. If you do always one-way traffic, trust me, you will not be able to build up your professional network at all actually. Because it always demands give and take both. It cannot have only give or only take. It is both. Let's move further. Team player. Again, team building, one topic hope you remember in the previous slides we have seen. Here we will discuss about what is called as a team player and why team player spirit in a SAP consultant is important. Remember, SAP work is never considered as an individual work. It is always called as a team work because single person can never manage the whole project. It is not possible. And because of that, a team is needed. A team is a group of people or a set of people with different skill sets. This is what we call it as a team. But then this has lot of different meanings. Being a team player and fostering interpersonal relationships are crucial for the success in any professional settings. It's very, very important. If you are a good team player, you will be able to collaborate and work well with others. You can share your ideas and contribute to group goals. Group means your team group, basically we are talking about. Your every team will have some kind of objectives, some kind of goals to achieve. So you need to collaborate with all other your team members. Communication. Again, this is repeating because team player is expected to have very good communication also. Whenever you are talking to somebody, please listen actively. You can express your thoughts, viewpoints, whatever you may have in your mind in a very clear manner, and do not try to become heavy on others, or do not try to impose your ideas on others. You need to respect the different viewpoints as well. Remember, in SAP or any other technology related work, you cannot be right all the time, and for a given solution there can be multiple, for a given problem there can be multiple solutions. So which solution is the best for the given particular situation or particular client need to be decided, and that's why here communication and discussion is very, very important. So how do you do that? By doing a great communication. This will help you a lot to prove that you are a good team player if you are good in your communication. Then adaptability. Be flexible, open to change, and willing to take on different roles. Remember, many people very soon get accustomed to their comfort zone in which they are working on. They usually don't try to take on some new roles, new things. But then this is not expected from the SAP consultant. You need to be flexible. You need to pick up the new roles. You need to pick up the new challenges. And that is how you will grow. If you keep doing the same task over and over again, what new item you will learn? What new things you will learn? But then if you pick up different roles, different challenges, your exposure will grow, your learnings will grow, your understandings will grow, your overall personality will grow. It is not just growing one area, one side, one item. It is a multifaceted item at any given point of time. Then support, very, very important. If your team is struggling, if somebody is struggling with some issue, please help them and support them. And also, whenever the team wins or team does a good job, ensure that you are celebrating it. In very small way also is fine, but celebration must be there. People should be recognized, people should be given their due credit, and that is how you will become a great team player. Very, very important. But in my real life experience, what I have seen, many people fail to do that. They think that SAP knowledge, experience, whatever they have learned is their personal property. Absolutely wrong approach. Whatever you have learned is not your personal property because you have not copyrighted your knowledge. It is not an IP. If you share it, you will also learn something out of it. Somebody else will give you some other ideas, and as I said, SCP project particularly is a group effort project. Group effort related work. It is not an individual work. If I say one person to do the entire implementation or support, that person will run away from the work itself. It is not possible. And since SAP system itself is integrated with so many different things here and there, unless you support each other, you will not be able to deliver, and you will not be able to meet the end result or objective given to you. And to do all these things, you need to be a good team player. Let's move further. Interpersonal relationships. Here, interpersonal relationship is all about how you deal with others, how you talk with others, how you build up, how you create a rapport with others. Now, this rapport will be different for the different set of people, but then people should feel comfortable with you. People should not feel that this person will try to sit on my head. If that kind of feeling is going into the other party's mind, then that is a big danger sign basically. So, if you are approachable by anybody, that simply means you are good at your interpersonal relationships. So, we'll talk on what this interpersonal relationship is all about. Building trust. You should be reliable, you should be honest, and you also need to maintain the confidentiality. That simply means you cannot leak every information to everybody everywhere. You will pass on information only what is needed and what is useful to them, nothing beyond that. And whatever is to be kept safeguarded safely, because all information is not meant for everybody. Some information will be very, very confidential. Some discussions will be very, very confidential. You need to keep it confidential only. Do not put it on the public forum as such. It will hamper your credibility. Then empathy. Empathy simply means try to always understand others' feelings and perspectives also. Don't think that you are the greatest person on the planet Earth and others are useless people on the planet Earth. It is not like that. You may be good at lot of things, but you will not be good at everything. Be humble, be polite, be approachable, and when you are talking to somebody, think for a moment how the other person will feel as well. This will ensure that you are not talking something different or wrong to the person, which will become at a later date a problem. Conflict resolution. Address disagreements constructively. On many times you will find in the SAP work that people will not agree with you. You might say X, they will say Y, and X and Y are two different items. So in that case, what you will do? You have to discuss in a cool and calm manner and arrive to a conclusion which is agreeable to both the parties. Something like mediator. Sometimes you also need to work like a facilitator. Some plus and minus, some adjustments are always goes on in life. The same applies to the SAP as well. So if you are good at it, you'll be able to handle lot of other situations and lot of client escalations as well. Networking, we have already discussed, but just to revise here. Connect with colleagues, attend events, nurture professional relationships. All these things will give you a sense of belongingness to a particular set of group, and it will improve your morale also. It will improve your understanding. It will improve your overall performance, overall personality as well. And why I'm saying all these things? Because the strong interpersonal skills enhance collaboration, job satisfaction, and overall workplace harmony. Think of a situation when somebody always talks nonsense in the team and spoils the overall atmosphere of the team. How do you feel? And then some people don't have willingness to learn as well. And if they do a mistake and that mistake comes back to you with a very heavy penalty, lot of things can go wrong. So all these things will happen based on the interpersonal relationships. If you maintain a good relationship, you can deliver the work and you can handle a lot of difficult situations in a very easy way, or rather I'll say in a better way, not easy way, better way. And without the interpersonal skills, rather I will say interpersonal relationship, if it is not good, then something which is not even a problem will become a problem. Let's move further. Now, coming to the conclusion of this particular video. So, basically, a lot is expected from a SAP consultant while working on a project. It can be any category of project, does not matter. But the expectation of the client, the company, the colleague, the people in and around you, stakeholders will be always high. They will always expect too many things from you. So, whatever so far we have discussed, all are important points, and you need to put aside some time to develop such things wherever you feel that you are falling short of the expectations or the requirements expected from the client side or maybe from the company side. So, with this, we are coming to an end of this particular video. We have still some topics left, rather I will say some more qualities and skills left, which we will discuss in the part 2 of this presentation. This is part 1. Other things we will discuss in part 2. Let's move further. So as I said in the beginning also, if you have any query, please drop an email to the mail ID given below. It will definitely reply. Also, you can put across your comments in the comment section of this video. It will be replied accordingly. Let's move further. Thank you so much for watching this video. Kindly like this video and subscribe this YouTube channel. It helps me and it gives me the motivation to create many such more videos. I will keep bringing in such kind of videos which will give you a different perspective to understand lot of things. So this I felt that it is very important to understand these things in a very detailed manner, and that is why this video is being prepared. Once again, thank you so much for watching all the way till here. Have a good day. Bye bye.